Hello, this is Kate from Happy London Press with some helpful tips about how to write a great short story, as we have some excellent advice from Jerz Setonhill and Henneke. Write a catchy first paragraph. In today's fast-moving world, the first sentence of your narrative should catch your reader's attention with the unusual, the unexpected, an action or a conflict. Begin with tension and immediacy. Remember that short stories need to start close to their end. Mystify your reader. Make the first sentence intriguing or somewhat open-ended. Don't use description to lure your reader. It's like false advertising and leads to disappointment. Be bold. Get to the point quickly. Be creative. Surprise the reader. You can use humour if you're comfortable with it. One of the most famous lines from The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger starts, "If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born and what my lousy childhood was like and how my parents were occupied and all before they had me and all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it, if you want to know the truth." This famous opening line is 63 words long, whereas the worst opening lines, well, Ben Blatt quotes the opening line of the book Paul Clifford by Edward Bulwer Lytton as one of the most ridiculed opening lines ever. It was a dark and stormy night. The rain fell in torrents, except at occasional intervals when it was checked by a violent gust of wind which swept up the streets, for it is in London that our scene lies, rattling along the housetops and fiercely agitating the scanty flame of the lamps that struggled against the darkness. Not only is that sentence awfully long, its worst crime is that nothing happens, nothing grabs attention, nothing makes me curious. It's simply a description of the weather. So what? Now, to give you more of an idea about what works or not, listen to the differences these two introductory lines make. "I heard my neighbour through the wall." This is dry and does nothing to spark the reader's imagination. "The neighbour behind us practised screaming in his shower almost every day. When I spoke to him, he called it screaming therapy." Now this catches the reader's attention. Who is this guy who goes in his shower every day and screams? Why does he do this? What is scream therapy? The reader is inspired and reads the next line. "The first time I heard him, I stood in the bathroom listening at our shared wall for 10 minutes, debating the wisdom of calling the police. It was very different from living in the duplex over middle-aged Mr. and Mrs. Brown with their 2 mature sons living at home." The rest of the paragraph introduces I and an internal conflict as the protagonist debates a course of action and introduces an intriguing contrast of past and present setting. As Laurel York states, "It is important to understand the basic elements of fiction writing before you consider how to put everything together. This process is comparable to producing something delectable in the kitchen. Any ingredient that you put into your bowl of dough impacts your finished loaf of bread. To create a perfect loaf, you must balance ingredients baked for the correct amount of time and enhance with the right polishing glaze." Thank you for listening. Please share and spread the word. Hi2020.co.uk, a short story competition for new writers.